It was my birthday 26, and everyone was smiling a little too hard. My stepmother's lipstick didn't quite hide the smirk curling at the edges of her mouth. My father avoided my eyes entirely. And my half-brother, he looked like he was trying not to laugh. "Go on," my stepmother said sweetly, tapping the envelope. "Open it. It's a special gift." I already knew something was wrong. People don't exchange glances like that when they're giving you something good. Still, I opened it. Inside was a plane ticket. One way. Departure tonight. Destination. A city I had no connection to, no job in, no friends waiting. Just a random place far away from the only home I'd ever known. My chest tightened. "What is this?" My father finally spoke, his voice flat. "It's time you stood on your own feet." "On my birthday?" I asked quietly. My stepmother sighed dramatically. "You're not a child anymore. We've supported you long enough." Supported me? I almost laughed. For years I had been invisible in that house. After my mom died, my father remarried quickly, and everything changed. The warmth was gone. The laughter was staged. And slowly I became unnecessary. Meals were eaten without me. Decisions made without me. Love given to someone else. I worked part-time jobs, paid for my own education, stayed out of their way. I never asked for anything, and yet here they were acting like I had been a burden. "This is ridiculous," I said, holding up the ticket. "Where am I even supposed to go?" My stepbrother chuckled. "Anywhere but here." Silence filled the room. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, cleanly, like a thread being cut. I looked at my father one last time, hoping, just hoping there would be hesitation in his eyes. Regret. Something. There wasn't. "Okay," I said softly, "if that's what you want." Relief flashed across my stepmother's face. My stepbrother smirked. They thought they had won. They thought they were getting rid of me. What they didn't know was that I had already left them a long time ago. At the airport, I sat by the window, watching planes take off into the dark sky. I wasn't scared. I wasn't even sad anymore. I felt free. Because the truth was, I had been living a double life for the past 5 years. While they saw me as the quiet, struggling daughter, I had built something they couldn't even imagine. It started small freelance coding projects, late nights, endless cups of coffee. Then I developed a software tool. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't flashy. But it worked really well. One client turned into 10. 10 turned into 100. Then investors came. I kept everything quiet. Not out of fear, but out of clarity. I didn't trust them. Not with my dreams. Not with my success. So I said nothing. By 24, I had sold my company. By 25, I had more money than my father had made in his entire life. And today, on my 26th birthday, they handed me a one-way ticket, thinking they were throwing me away. Smiled to myself. They had no idea. They had just set me free. 3 months later, stood in front of a floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking a skyline that glittered like diamonds. My new city, my new life. My phone buzzed. "Dad." I stared at the screen for a moment before answering. "Hello." His voice sounded different, nervous. "I heard something," he said. "Is it true?" I leaned back in my chair. That depends. What did you hear? You own a company? That you sold it? That you're wealthy? I let the silence stretch just long enough. Yes, I said calmly. It's true. There was a sharp inhale on the other end. Why didn't you tell us? I almost laughed. You didn't ask. That's not fair, he said quickly. We're your family. Family. The word felt foreign. Are you? I asked quietly. Because the last time I checked, family doesn't hand you a one-way ticket and push you out the door. He didn't respond. But I could hear the regret now, the panic. Good. I think we made a mistake, he said finally. I walked over to the window, watching the city move beneath me alive, unstoppable. Yes, I said. You did. We want you to come back, he added quickly. We can fix this. Fix this. As if what they broke was something simple. As if I was still the same girl who waited for their approval. I'm not coming back, I said. Please. No, I cut in, my voice steady. You made your decision. Now I've made mine. Silence again, then softer this time. We didn't know. I know, I replied. That's the point. A week later, I received a message from my stepbrother. Hey, sorry about everything. Didn't realize you were, doing so well. Maybe we can talk. I stared at the message, then deleted it. Not out of anger, out of indifference. Because the truth about revenge, it's not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes, the most powerful revenge is becoming so successful, so fulfilled, that the people who tried to break you no longer have access to you. On my next birthday, I didn't have a crowded room. No fake smiles, no forced laughter. Just a quiet dinner, a small cake, and peace. I held a new envelope in my hands. Inside was a ticket. But this one was different. Round trip. My choice. My destination. My life. And as I raised a glass to myself, I smiled. Not because of what I had gained, but because of what I had finally left behind.